So look what I did. I ended up adding chamfers to not just these parts of the cog, but the round body shape of the cog on both sides here. Also the outer edge of the claw itself. And very important, this difficult area, as you can see, very narrow angle. So adding a chamfer here was absolutely necessary. For the other parts, like here and here, chamfers were not necessary, but they will still improve the silhouette and the overall look of the low poly when the normal maps will be applied to it. So I did it mostly for aesthetic reasons. It did increase the poly count. Let's see what we have right now. We have 852 polygons. So the poly count doubled because of these chamfers. If you are on a budget in terms of polygons, which can still sometimes happen when you are maybe making a game for a mobile device. Our game is for desktop, so we don't really care about poly count that much. But if you do, well, avoid adding chamfers everywhere. Only in those areas, like I said, here or here, where it is absolutely necessary. Now I want to throw the Turbo Smooth modifier on top of the stack, and I'm doing it for a simple reason. I want to check for defects, because I did lots of polygon cutting and chamfer, etc., and it is quite possible that some topological defects could have crawled into this mesh, and when you subdivide it like this, you can easily see problematic areas. It just interrupts the edge flow. But here I don't think I can see any. I mean, the topology is not clean, but it is clean on the edges, and that is important. So for the most part it is okay. So I'm removing this Turbo Smooth modifier, and I will export this model again as an OBJ, just a different version. And I will, just to make sure that everything is fine, I will load it back into Topogun. And like I thought, it does not follow the shape perfectly. And I will have to fix that. I'll have to move each point on the surface, because when I move a point, it automatically snaps to the surface. There is a function in Topogun where I can select several points and snap them by just pressing a button, but that operation, it takes forever to calculate, so it's not very practical. So I'm just going through. It didn't recognize some of the polygons here, so I am closing these gaps. Again, on this, what are they called? The teeth of the cog or something like that. I could have created the chamfering manually during the first round of retopology, but I decided to do it through 3ds Max just so I can show you the process. So I'm using 3ds Max mostly for chamfering, and if a model is symmetrical, I use 3ds Max to do the symmetry. I would with a symmetrical model, I would do one part, and then I will mirror that part in 3ds Max. Again, there is symmetry function in Topogun, but I feel that it clutters the working area, and it is easier just to mirror it later in an external application. Just again making sure everything is fine. I'm not worried about the topology inside flat areas, but I'm super careful with topology on the edges. And if you are still concerned about topology here not being super clean, I can assure you that when we bake the maps, the low poly version of the model with maps applied will look nearly identical to the high-res model, so it will all work fine, even with messy topology. Well, not messy, but well, it is somewhat messy. Again, you have to be very patient when you are making low poly. It's not always fun. Baking maps is a fun part, to me at least. But this, not so much. One of the reasons why the topology broke down a little is because Topogun tries to automatically snap some vertices, most of the vertices, to the nearby high-res surface. And sometimes when in those areas where the density of low poly vertices is too high, it can result in these unwanted effects. Not being super meticulous again, but just making sure it is reasonably fine. Next up, in the next lesson, we will continue with. Next up is UV unwrapping. Doing the UV thread is super important, and you might be wondering how on earth are you going to unwrap a complicated model like this one. It's easier than you think, by the way. It's really not that hard. Modern unwrapping, making sure this pointy edge is right on edge. Modern unwrapping tools, which right now are present in pretty much every 3D application. They are not even modern. They've been around for a while now, and it really makes the job very easy, even with complicated topology like this one. So I think we're pretty much done here. It is a complicated model, but here is the low poly, and it is less than 1,000 polygons, and it will be a complete visual replica of the high-res model when we have the maps baked.